Welcome to the flip side of crypto. Joining me as always, Constantino.
Morning, Martynas. How are you today?
Quite well. Also, the crypto market is doing quite well. Let's discuss. Today's 5 topics will be DeFi, Ripple, EU regulation, a little bit of chain updates, and here comes the money. Wait till the last one, you'll like it. So, first off, DeFi. DeFi has exploded in Q2. Tor, take it away.
Yeah, according to consensus, the unique Ethereum addresses on DeFi increased by 65%. That's pretty significant. Up to 161 million in total right now. The decentralized exchange totals exploded in the month of May alone to 173 billion for the quarter total, 343 billion. That is a ton. But this validates what we know, the fundamentals that are underlying the support of what people are looking for within the crypto space are stronger than ever. People want alternatives to traditional banking. They want to remove banking bottlenecks. They want to remove the delays. They want to remove unnecessary fees, invasive credit checks, permission-based proposals. This growth just reinforces and proves that point.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Tor. It's the whole market is a bit small in comparison, even to the total market cap. So although DeFi exploded, it's only worth around what is it? I have it somewhere in my notes. 62 billion. That's not a lot now, is it?
Well, you're right that the base that it's operating from is pretty low, but at the same time, there is momentum. And you could see that a doubling from quarter to quarter, that's still pretty significant growth. While it is small and the total banking market is measured in trillions, obviously this is, to your point, a small move. But still, it is a move that is significant nonetheless from where it is right now.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's definitely interesting how this new financial infrastructure is being built. What I'm concerned with is that it's being built, it's being developed at a rapid pace, and then Gensler will come out and say, oh, we will not recognize DeFi, etc., or DeFi is the devil, and basically all that word comes for naught. So of course, we're hopeful that that doesn't happen. There's too much momentum now built up to stop this innovation, but still, it should be in everyone's mind. Governments and institutional players will oppose DeFi because they're going for the same market. So I see this as a bumpy ride, so I'll be curbing my enthusiasm, if you don't mind. Now, in other news, it's an interesting win for Ripple. So good news for XRP holders all over the world. What happened was Brad Garlinghouse now has access to XRP wallets all over the world in the Binance exchange. Essentially, he can see the records of all of the transactions, and that helps him in the case when he's suing the SEC. Tor, could you give us your 2 cents on this news?
Yeah, in this request, Ripple's legal team cited the 1933 Securities Act, stating that the allegations of illegal XRP sales only apply to domestic sales and security offerings within the U.S. So what Binance is trying to do is that, or rather what Ripple's trying to do is to check the Binance records, and they could show that most all of the transactions occurred outside of the U.S. If Ripple can prove that, they could get a significantly lower penalty. They could just get a slap on the wrist, or the entire case could get thrown out. So this is, as you said, this is a positive for that team, and it plays well to the legal strategy, and it was a pretty smart move on their behalf.
Now, I would agree with that if I didn't watch Gensler these last few days doing the runaround across MSNBC and others. He views most crypto tokens as securities. Did you catch that last night? It was And that to me, and I really like the fact that he avoided the XRP question he was asked, actually, do you regard, and he avoided it beautifully, like a ballerina. Beautiful stuff. But still, we do not yet have a consensus. So if he thinks, and the SEC and Congress agree, that every token is now a security, would this actually then impact the case? Or do you think it's too far gone at this point? What's your opinion?
I think you're right. I don't think that they could get legislation in place that would affect retroactively to what's taking place in the courts right now. I don't think that it would have bearing on it, to be honest with you. But I do think that it could shape that legislation and where they get. Again, the only thing that works slower than the wheels of justice are the wheels of legislation. So I think I think it's going to take some time for them to get their game in place before they're able to have any sort of description or definition of what a security is.
Yeah. Well, while Congress is slogging around, actually, France, out of all countries, now has the first Bitcoin ETF. Tor, take it away.
This is honestly remarkable, and this to me could be the biggest news of the day. The French investment firm, and I'm going to butcher its pronunciation, Millennium Capital, is launching an EU-regulated Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, and it's regulated and overseen by UCITS, and that stands for the Undertakings, Collective Investments in Transferable Securities. Now, this is big news because once UCITS funds are registered in Europe, they can be sold globally to investors worldwide. UCITS funds providers who meet the standards as well, and this is the key in my opinion, they're exempt from national regulation within each of the individual European countries. So that could be a shortcut for adoption. And ETFs are a great way to kind of onboard people to the crypto space because it's like buying an index fund. You don't have to worry about the volatility of a single token or a single project or a single coin. It's diversified across a wider breadth of potential investment offerings. So this is pretty big in my opinion, and it could be a model for other countries around the world.
Absolutely. Now, I would just harken back to the point you made just recently. In essence, so only in France is it now enforceable by law, some changes to the law, or is it Europe-wide, so that viewers at home can understand the scope of this news?
Correct. So it's Europe-wide. The UCITS standards were put in place by the European Commission. The European Commission is responsible for all legal and regulatory oversight of blockchain. So this has huge ramifications because it is UCITS sanctioned. Again, Undertakings, Collective Investments in Transferable Securities. It's a mouthful, but it was put in place by the European Commission, so it covers all of Europe. So it's able to be sold anybody in those countries, anybody in the world, and it's able to kind of sidestep regulation within each of the European countries, which is again pretty significant.
But sorry to dwell on this, folks. Usually we try to keep these segments quite crisp, but does this mean that, for example, if you're in a country which has banned or has sanctions or is not sure what's the tax code, etc., would this mean that if your country is within the EU borders, you simply cite and use this ETF as an investment vehicle, and essentially you only worry about your own country's legislation when it comes to tax time? Essentially, you can just work with it without worrying about what your country is doing.
Yeah, I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's what this appears to be saying, is that if you're in a country that may have previously taken a dark look or a blind eye to cryptocurrencies, this could be a way for you to get in because it's sanctioned by the European Commission.
So again, to the United Kingdom, good job leaving the EU. We're at the right time. Anyway, in other news, Chainlink Updates, Memenopoly, and AccuWeather. All right, I'll just say it. I'm a big fan of Monopoly. And Memenopoly seems like a great idea in general. And now they have Chainlink involved in making sure all the roles are, completely randomized, etc. This is just cute news, and AccuWeather, I don't understand why they implemented it. Could you shine a light on this for me, Tor? Why did AccuWeather do it?
So I think the big takeaway from these two stories is it really shows the diversity and the flexibility of the Chainlink use case. So Chainlink is an Oracle protocol, and that basically moves real world data and information onto the blockchain so that decisions can be made there. Database driven decisions can be made there. So to your point about AccuWeather, I don't know about how school closings in Europe work, but I could say, so if weather gets bad here within a certain municipality, the superintendents have to call around and say, oh, we're going to close school today. In this particular instance, let's say that AccuWeather starts tracking forecasts and it identifies the patterns that would be give a high percentage probability of needing to close school for the protection or safety of individuals and students. So that's something that I think, the other thing that I think is weather patterns are also part and parcel and calculated for insurance offerings, home insurance offerings, like let's say hurricanes in Florida. You have to have flood insurance down there as well. So you may be able to insurance companies may be able to make data-driven decisions in some of their kind of pricing policies. That's the only thing that I can think of how this would be applicable. But the big news, the big takeaway is the application of this ranging from a drinking game. Let's just be honest. That's one of the things that it was used originally. The board game was a drinking game for college kids to possible use case for predicting weather patterns and what's next. So it's pretty exciting to see Chainlink kind of spanning that gap.
Indeed. Actually, Chainlink is one of those rare projects. For example, the Graph, Chainlink, VeChain, IOTA. Just that engineer's mentality. Just do it right. Don't really talk about yourselves. This is a time where they could proudly say, yeah, we did this, guys, and be a bit louder about their achievements. So a shout out to the Chainlink community. Now, in other news, here comes the money. Axie Infinity. Tor, could you give us the rundown? What happened?
So my son is very much involved in still in Pokemon gaming and Mario gaming and Minecraft, and he loves the social aspect of actually going to a server, the hive of Minecraft, and playing there. Axie Infinity is that on steroids, the next generation. It's an NFT-based game. It uses Ethereum-based AXS token created to facilitate it, but it had bigger revenue in July than Ethereum and Bitcoin. And as you said, the money is coming. Bring it on. Gamification is coming, and it will be a driver for mass adoption within the crypto space. One of the things I looked up this morning that I thought was really interesting, and it's according to Statista, it's estimated that the global gaming market will be more than $268 billion annually, US, in 2025. This year, in 2021, it's $178 billion. So that's pretty significant within the next 4 years. And projects such as Axie Infinity are going to spur that and drive that. There's a lot of revenue to be had.
I mean, it seems that these are some serious games and some serious gains associated with it. There are flip sides to this. Gaming is great when it comes to digital assets. For example, the sandbox environment, just buying virtual, establishments, creating your own meta worlds. That's absolutely fantastic. However, when we talk about gambling and when we talk about these risk-associated games, loot box games, etc., please, to our viewers at home, if possible, please do it while understanding the risks associated with these types of games And if you have problems, please contact a specialist that could help you with your addiction. Needs to be said because I see too many people lose out money and become addicted to it. So these are just some words of caution. But as a whole, it's a very interesting industry and can't wait to see where it can bring us. Any flip sides to this news, Tor?
No, I just think that that's good advice that you provided. That all things in moderation, and I think that that's a good approach. But gaming is coming, and it's going to be a driver for cryptocurrency. But to your point, just to exercise a degree of caution and moderation, and you can enjoy Axie Infinity.
So this has been the flip side of crypto, giving you both crypto advice and some life advice as well. Who could have known? Anyway, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, and make sure to hit that bell so you constantly know when a new video is out. That was the episode. Yeah, it's quick news.